Yeah, yeah. The only
Oh,
thing that's
really?
not
Because I've been wanting to watch it.
the only thing that's not on there is Stargazer.
Okay, well, I've been wanting to watch the second second part of that. Hello, everybody.
Oh, we're live. Okay.
Hello. Just a fair warning. If we disappear and Matt's all alone, that's because we probably lost power for a quick sec or the internet was knocked down or something. We've been
Yeah.
having issues because we have like a
been a lot of
rainstorm
rain.
going through.
hmm
So just bear in mind, if Matt's the only one here and we got kicked off, it's because of that.
And he'll hijack
that-
the stream and he'll make a case for the Terminators and how.
Yeah,
they're
Matt, if we
doing a good
disappear, you
job.
make a case with the Terminator. Tell people why Michael Myers is a kid-friendly guy and why the Terminators are not that bad of a
They're not.
cyborgs.
They're
You should have
helping.
created an intro for this stream, Arturo. And
Like
played
what?
it.
Calm down, pretty.
Like a video intro. Hey, John Doe Juggalo.
Oh
How
yeah,
you
I
doing?
should have put all the compilations of you freaking out about Terminator.
I don't
I'm
freak
not
out. I just get excited.
Anyways, yeah, so this episode we're pretty much talking about mostly the good Terminators, but we could also talk about the bad ones, and then of course we could just talk about what really would be considered canon. Or
This
we could
was
just
your idea. You put this.
This was
chat
my idea.
together.
But I know Cyns gonna hijack it because she loves Terminator. She fangirls about Terminator.
I'll try not to fangirl too much. I'll try not
Video
to hijack.
intro of smashing
Smashing
keyboard. I am Arturo.
All
Yes, I am.
right.
And then also Matt here is going to explain why the Terminator franchise is a family-friendly experience. Even a 4-year-old could watch it.
To the movie for PG-13.
That was what, Salvation and Genesis.
Genesis,
and
yes.
Genesis. And
They both were
but
PG-13.
every kid can watch the R-rated ones and they'll be fine.
No.
They'll be fine.
No.
Name one bad thing that happens in those movies. Anyways,
well, there's a lot of humans attacking poor defenseless Terminator.
Get out, Matt.
Yeah, that is true. That is against.
It's always opposite day with you, I swear.
I mean, cyborg lives matter.
Yeah.
The Terminators matter.
Oh, skull crushing of the future really encapsulates this. Yeah, sure.
But anyways, so Sin and I and Matt have seen Terminator Zero.
Yes.
I gotta say it was a very interesting take to the Terminator franchise.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that there'll be a second season.
No word on that yet. I guess
to flesh out stuff. I mean, I gotta tell you, they took a lot of vibe from both Terminator 1, mostly Terminator 1, but then also a little bit of Terminator 2.
Oh, don't forget Genesis. They do take some from Genesis.
Like how?
The multiverse.
Oh,
the timelines are
like
all alternate.
The different timelines. Yeah.
Yeah. That
True.
Genesis canon.
I guess in a certain aspect. Anyways, I thought they also the animation for the Terminator was really well done. They captured that feel of the Terminator. Now, of course, the first Terminator is a classic, and I know
of course
Sin loves to talk about that one.
I do. Those first two are just the absolute best. That yeah, Sasha, you sound like Matt now.
Yeah.
Better than the meh alien implosion. Are you talking about the latest?
Hey Matt, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's loud. You can mute him, Arturo, if it gets too loud. Or Matt
I have
can
my
mute him.
It should be. I have my headphones on.
Oh, that's what you were doing. Okay.
No, I was giving my talk about.
Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was. The new okay, yes, Terminator Zero is better than Alien Romulus. I didn't feel very charitable towards that movie.
I loved it
after I saw it
three times.
Oh, hard pass on that. Once was more than enough.
I feel like you could rewatch Terminator 1 a lot. I know you do when they have it on Pluto TV.
Every time a Terminator movie is on, well, usually it's either the Terminator or Terminator 2 on Pluto TV. If I see it on when I'm scrolling through the guide, I always stop
Because
and
you're a
watch.
fangirl. I'm actually
Just-
tempted to put up that photo of your face expression right now to show that is how Cyn is when she fangirls over Terminator.
I just love it. It's such a good.
Oh, I like it too.
Two series of movies, so I don't technically fully count the others. Salvation, maybe. I do like what they attempted with Salvation, but there were some issues.
Salvation, I think I need to rewatch it again. I actually didn't mind that movie, but you had an issue, I think, with the ending, I guess.
Well, the main problem I had with Salvation, it's a bit nitpicky, but it's relevant. How is he going to survive without anti-rejection medicine? That's important. That's
true.
And they never address that at all.
Yeah.
So the heart transplant wouldn't save him for long. Without anti-rejection medicine,
well, unless
dead.
they stole tech from Skynet.
It's not tech you need. It's something. It's medication your body needs to prevent it from attacking the new organ.
Well, I'm sure they probably had it.
No, Sashi. Actually, I'm not. This was something that Arturo wanted to do. He's got Terminator on the brain right now. He can kind of understand a little bit my obsession with it. It's because he just recently finished watching Terminator Zero, so he wanted to do a discussion on.
Well, yeah, but
Terminator
also I was trying to get Matt's advice or suggestion, and he was down for Terminator, so that's what we went with.
Okay. All right.
Matt, did you watch Terminator Zero, right? Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it.
Did you have any issues with it, or?
Not really. They pretty much, because of the multiverse thing, they can, they keep what they want canon, and then you can count everything else as different timelines.
True.
Which I think was a smart way of going. Yeah, they didn't try to mess with the Sarah and John story. They mention it briefly, and then they just talk about the new timeline. I like the Malcolm storyline. I liked the philosophical discussions that he had with his AI.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting, made you think, because if you're being logical, it's like, well, yeah, humans they can be pretty doggone crappy.
Yeah.
So you could see why a machine, an AI, an entity like that could make the decision that they made. Not that I agree with it. I just understand, why their artificial thought process led them that way.
Well, I find it interesting that Skynet has another AI to face.
I just read Enigma's latest. He said that I'm in denial. I'm working my way through the stages of grief. I am very bummed, you guys, that I missed that watch party. I was looking forward to it so much, because it's usually just me watching these movies by myself when I watch them. Sometimes I do take control over the TV in the bedroom and force my husband to watch it with me, but yeah, I was just looking forward to watching it with a whole new group of people. Hey, Vasco, how y'all doing?
Oh yeah, Terminator Resistance. Matt, do you have that game?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
If people want to get the same vibe from Terminator 1 and 2, Resistance would be it.
Does Resistance take place in normal time or during the war? I always assumed
during
it took place during the war.
After Judgment Day. It's 2020.
Yeah, so like Salvation.
I think it's 2029 or 2028. I think it's 2029.
So it's like in a Salvation environment then, right?
Yeah. Except it's 2029 and they have the laser guns. You still have regular guns, but you have laser guns too in the game. And you could romance two characters if you want. So that's
Oh,
something.
really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But okay, totally new characters that you're dealing with in
Yeah,
this?
totally new characters. Some are scavengers. One of the women you could romance is a scavenger. There was this guy in the game that was talking about the first like cyborgs that they ran into. This was like within maybe, I don't know, not long after Judgment Day, and it looked like a robot. And my first thought process when I was watching Zero is like, oh, is that like a wink wink because of those robots in Tokyo?
Maybe. Maybe.
That was my first thought process. Anyways, so far I've been enjoying Resistance. What's aggravating is, yes, the Terminators are hard to kill in the game, and
wait, the T800 models, or
yes,
are there?
they are hard to kill in the game.
Okay.
Even with the laser guns, they are hard to kill, and they kill you easily. Heck, if you get close to them, they'll just grab you on the neck and then just strangle you to death, and that's it. Game over.
Efficient, yeah. Well, they are killing machines.
You mean family-friendly machines? They just love to hug.
Sure.
Cody, stop.
No. Anyways, if people want something like that, just as close to the two movies in Resistance would be for everybody, and I think Sin would really love to play that game.
No.
Scott Kyle.
I'd rather watch the movies. You know this, Arturo. I'm not a gamer. I'm not. Okay, so what's the focus of our conversation going to be? You have to have you're going to be the moderator, the guider of this discussion.
I think when it comes to what I think would be canon, even if the timeline can jump around with whatever you want. So of course, 1, 2, 0, and Resistance.
Wait,
and maybe
didn't they say Zero was an alternate timeline and events in Zero didn't take place before? It was a new. There was some line about some stuff in Zero was like a new timeline.
It is, but you could insert it in there because the timeline's already jumbled up as it is. Because let's be real, time travel is a iffy subject.
They address the issue of, or this particular one takes the approach that it's not linear. When you go back, you're creating a whole new line. I agree with you, Chris. I do still enjoy watching the other stuff, but T1 and T2 are just don't
do that.
They're pretty much the beginning and the end for me. So
Terminator 3, it's kind of forgettable. I mean, I watched it only once. They didn't really do anything new. It was kind of
it's a very similar sort of
Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Salvation did something a little different because they insert you into the apocalyptic world that they're living in, but I didn't mind Salvation. You could technically say you could insert it in there if you want.
Oh, he probably should be muted. While that's happening. That's very loud.
Well, wait, dog.
What is going on with your dog, Matt?
He wants his collar. It came off. I'm going to leave the room in a minute.
He is being very vocal about it.
No, wait, didn't dogs sense Terminators? That's probably what he senses, Terminator.
I have heard of that, Tony, that there was a walkthrough movie gameplay of that, maybe. Oh, see, I didn't think T3 was comedic. I didn't find it comedic. It's definitely it came on the heels of Terminator 2. That's almost an impossible
like a decade
thing to follow.
Almost.
More than a decade. It was 12 years.
It's fun. You know what's funny? How every Terminator 1, 2, 3 came out decades apart from each other.
No, not decades. The second one came out less than 10 years after the first one.
Actually, okay, yeah, true.
Yeah, it was less than 10 years. The second one came out a bit longer than that. And then, of course, Terminator Salvation came out in 2009, and then Genesis was 2015, and Dark Fate was 2017.
Well, let's pretend that it was just fan fiction.
Oh
no, Dark Fate's canon. If you go with the timeline.
Nope, Matt.
It's just fan fiction. I mean, same with the sequel trilogy. It's just fan fiction. That's all
with the multiverse timeline thing that they bring up in the last Terminator. It is canon in some version.
It never happened.
That's a good point, Darth. That's a good point. We never saw anything like that. Dog Terminators.
I know in the game they have like these. They have different type of little like flying around Terminator things, and then of course they have like these things that will, if you move around too much, they'll like jump out and then just blow up, like chase you and blow up. So the game adds a little bit more stuff to it. Yeah, so and back on like what you could insert. So you could I could sort of maybe insert Salvation, but not quite. But then again, maybe I need to just rewatch it again and see how I like it.
How many times have you seen that?
I think just once on the big screen.
True. You'd only seen the first Terminator once too. Like, what the heck? What kind of kid?
I saw it twice. Technically now, twice.
Yeah, now after we went to go see it on the big screen.
And now Genesis, that's an iffy subject because it's kind of its own thing, but it's kind of a fun ride at the same time.
It was fun. Know? I see the flaws, but I don't hate it as much as Dark Fate. No, it's definitely not on the same level for sure. I mean, they tried to add something new, female Terminator. There'd been talk of that for years before they did end up coming. I remember at one point the wrestler Chyna was talked about her potentially being a Terminator. Yeah.
Now,
it was funny, but I didn't feel like it was primarily a comedy though. I mean, there were moments of humor in the second Terminator as well, and I didn't feel like that was mostly comedic.
Would you now, Sim, would you insert the Sarah Chronicles in there somewhere if you wanted?
I enjoyed the Sarah Chronicles. I felt like it was quite solid. I don't know. I don't really think hard about whether it's canon or not. It was just something.
So it's like a yay or nay. Like you could insert in there.
Either way. There was something. There was a.
The comics, Second Target or something.
I thought there was something, a comment that came up that Arthur had posted it. But I was going to respond to it a little bit, but now I don't remember.
Well, what was it?
I don't remember. I don't recall what it was. Because I don't see it in my thing here, but I thought it was something. Okay, well, whatever.
Would you
Oh, no, never mind.
Yeah, there were the comics. I don't know.
I had never read the comics.
I've never read them, so I can't say. Like, maybe you can insert them in there.
I agree with you, John Doe Juggalo, that it's better than half the movies. Sorry, Arturo, go ahead.
I think it focuses on Sarah Connor and John Connor still after Terminator 2. So you still get that. But since I haven't read it.
You need to watch the Sarah Connor Chronicles. You have not seen that yet. It's actually pretty solid, Chris. I have mentioned multiple times that I went into it not convinced at all that I was going to like it. And boy, I was proven completely wrong. I enjoyed the heck out of it. Yeah.
Was there any other media of Terminator that came out the past few years besides Dark Fate?
I think there was a kids cartoon in the 90s. Wasn't there
Terminator?
I'm not sure. I may be thinking of RoboCop.
RoboCop? That's a gory mess too.
No, there was a RoboCop kid show in like the early 90s.
Wow. Well, I know they would promote toys for the kids.
Yeah.
I like Amelia Clark too, Enigma, but I felt like she did not put in the effort to be a convincing Sarah Connor. She didn't look like she'd done a pull-up in her life. And even though she lived most of her life protected by the Terminator, she should have been someone who was physically prepared for warfare or battle, and she just wasn't.
Terminator versus Twisters.
Yeah, right. Um, so Magnum PI, you're talking about the original, right? That's a really good show. 24 is good too, but after about the 4th or 5th season, it gets a little bit it's like they go overboard with Jack Bauer, and I don't even think I finished.
So Matt,
she's really little.
Matt, what would like? So what Terminator media would you insert into the timeline?
So I count them all. Everything is canon. With Zero, all timelines are possible. Dark Fate is possible. The original is possible. There's just different iterations of the same characters repeating different actions.
That's one way to look at it.
Yeah, but Cyn was shaking her head no, so I think she wants to debate.
No, I just disagree for the reasons that I've already mentioned. Because
well, Matt likes to see the world burn.
It has to be something solid for me to jump on that particular argument, and it's
that's
not
one timeline. That's one timeline. But then it's the butterfly effect. So if one thing goes different, you get Dark Fate. If something else goes different, you get.
I would agree with that if Dark Fate was decent, but it's not, so I can't.
That evil laugh.
She was. I mean, she was. Well, she wasn't that new to acting Enigma. She'd been in several seasons of Game of Thrones already when that came out. It wasn't necessarily her acting that bothered me. It was just her screen presence. I didn't feel like she had the physicality of the Sarah Connor that we should have gotten in that particular movie.
So Cyn, what would you count in the timeline as canon?
Well, obviously just T1 and yeah, I agree, Chris. T1 and T2. Potentially Salvation because it kind of tells a story from before, but the whole thing with the ending is problematic for me.
So only T1 and 2. You don't count really anything else.
Not really. No.
I mean, Zero.
No, not really. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it, but I wouldn't necessarily go as far as to say it's canon.
Well, Doctor Who would win.
Doctor Who?
What?
Yeah, I agree, Darth Plato. Yeah, the plot was untenable.
I liked a lot of stuff that they referenced in Terminator Zero. Well, for one, the beginning, of course, we're in the apocalyptic war with the Terminators, Skynet. They just made the Terminator pretty creepy, like in that first episode.
Oh, it was like a horror movie. It reminded me of the first Terminator.
T1, yeah. Except Arnold, when he betrayed the Terminator, he really had no face, he had no expression. But the one in the anime was like grinning the whole time, like how the Terminator skeleton would be grinning.
Was this when his face was all messed up?
Before his face was messed up.
Oh, okay.
Don't you remember? He was just grinning.
No, I forgot.
After he had killed everybody in the room,
like he was enjoying it, like he was taking pleasure in it.
The Terminators, they always look like they're grinning.
Only the skeleton part of them.
Yeah. So the thing is, I wonder, wasn't that just because of the skeleton underneath was grinning?
Yeah, but the skeleton's not really grinning. It just looks that way because of the shape of the skull and the teeth.
Well, that's
because
what
there's no
like
skin to cover it, no lips
yeah.
to. Yeah.
I always thought it looked kind of cool.
I think they just drew it that way to make it look creepy. That's it.
Well, it did the job well because it was it was creepy. My one complaint: where are the laser guns?
Yeah, you did mention that.
Now, yes, you could say this is set in Japan, so maybe the laser guns haven't come over there yet. Maybe they're in in the United States because that's where Skynet originated from. You could look at it that way.
I'm sorry, I was reading the comments. Could repeat that?
Yeah. I was just saying maybe the reason the laser guns aren't shown in Zero is because it's in Japan, and probably the laser guns were made over in the United States because Skynet came from the United States.
Yeah, I don't know. They never really addressed that.
No.
There's also
Darth. Yeah.
There's also a theory with time travel is if you keep on going back and changing things, certain things will slightly be altered every time. So maybe the Zero timeline doesn't have laser guns.
True. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Or because of the other AI, they don't bring the laser guns over there just in case something comes back.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just my thought process. Like, well, if this is like jumping forward into the future even more, like past 2029, you would assume they would have the guns at this point. Because those are unique guns.
I thought it was 2020. Wait,
when it shows
the opening scene, was it 2022?
Yeah, 2022. However, almost near the end of the show, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but when it shows a specific character's backstory, it jumps from 2025 to 2030 to 2040s and 2050s.
Yeah, I remember now. I was thinking of something else completely.
Yeah.
Sashi. Look at his latest comment.
That's racist, Arturo. We Asians most definitely have laser weaponry. We have the finest laser weapons. I bet you guys do. I'm just trying to figure out why the Terminators didn't have laser guns over in Japan. It's a conspiracy.
There has to be some reason, but I've never seen them touch on that. Putin's cat. We're talking about just Terminator in general.
Well, the best and the worst. The best and the worst, and what I like to insert in the timeline and whatnot. So, of course, I would say I would not insert Dark Fate. I just heard that's terrible, and it's just.
Have you seen it? Did you ever see it? You
never did. Well, for one, you told me stuff about it because you saw it, and then I began to think, man, they just kind of copied and pasted the concept of the first two.
Yes,
but they made it a Latina
woman that was supposed to be so tough, and it would just, oh my gosh, yeah,
that sounded like a cop out.
Well, it was, and then they killed off John Connor, which was really annoying.
Like, what was
and
the whole
apparently that was James Cameron's idea. Are you kidding me? Like,
I guess he wanted to just finish it. He wanted to finish it so bad.
No, he wants to be busy with that stupid other crap he's working on.
We don't care about Avatar.
Well, a lot of people do. So,
I think Matt likes it.
A lot of people
Matt? Do you like Avatar? I think you like it because you like everything.
I mean, they're good movies.
Anger and barking.
Wait,
I do want to kick him, Chris. He's aggravating. He's such a talented filmmaker, and to me, I feel like
he's also
wasting his talents. Yes, he is. He's an asshole.
I mean, Linda Hamilton mentioned it.
Yeah, that story she told was pretty funny. It was aggravating, but pretty funny. Yeah, that's right. Not too much longer.
Yep. And there's already a company called Skynet.
Yeah, I know.
So the other I'm trying to think of another thing that. Oh well, I probably wouldn't insert Terminator 3 nor the games of Terminator 3. Not too much.
What do you mean insert them? You mean into the timeline?
Like in the timeline, in personally my timeline. Like if
yes, I
wanted to
love
put-
True Lies. True Lies was James Cameron's last good movie for me.
I mean, what would your opinion be for Terminator 3?
It's okay.
Like, would
It's
you
all
insert
right.
it in there or not really?
In the timeline, I thought
Oh.
we already talked about this.
Oh, okay.
Not really.
Well, I'm not.
It's
I don't
just
think I would.
it's just enjoyable enough to pass the time, but I feel like I don't really count it.
Yeah, same. Salvation is like a 50-50. I think you could, but you don't have to.
It tells a story from a totally different perspective and
Yeah.
time frame. So
we do
it's
get
all
a
right.
young Kyle Reese.
Yeah, poor Anton Yelchin.
So yeah, 50-50 with Salvation. And then of course the video game for Salvation, which I probably will not count. And that might be hit of the worst ones. Most of the others are okay. Genesis. Genesis is its own thing.
Yeah,
I can't really say it. I can insert
kind of like
it's
like
time.
yeah. It's like a guilty pleasure. I mean, I'm not super
like
in love
sit
with
down and
it,
eat popcorn.
but I definitely will. If it's playing on Pluto TV or whatever, I will watch it. I'll turn it on. I mean, I'm like that with pretty much any Terminator movie except Dark Fate.
Well, of course, you're a fangirl.
Kind of like with Halloween. So like a lot of times on Pluto TV, they cycle through Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, and then Halloween H2O, and then right after that they play Halloween Resurrection. Well, if I see that on the guide, I will always click on it. Like even Curse of Michael Myers, which I think is not that good of a movie, I will click on it, let it play through H2O. But well, as soon as Halloween Resurrection comes on, I change the channel immediately. But
Matt also had a theory that Titanic is canon to Terminator.
oh.
Yes, I think I've talked about this. So the main character of Titanic is actually a time traveler to save Rose because she is somehow related to Sarah Connor.
You talking about Jack?
Or yeah, Jack. Jack is a time traveler. That's why he has no money. He's actually from the future to save Sarah Connor's relative.
Is this something you cooked up in your brain?
No. I sent you the whole article on it a couple of years ago.
Oh, this has actually been.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
But it makes so much sense. Isn't his hair cut slightly off from what it should be in the time period? Well, time travel.
No, it's just DiCaprio's
Time
hairstyle
travel.
at the time.
So a question to Darth Plato.
Yes, he did make a little. He did make a little sneak peek appearance in Last Action Hero. Very, very tiny.
Terminator would win, of course. Unless you want to count.
Yeah, probably because he's.
And then Chris is like, Titanic is canon in our timeline.
Yeah, it is. Sadly, the true story of it, anyway. In answer to your question, Putin's cat, if you're talking about the Sarah Connor Chronicles, I want to say I think so, but not necessarily a new Terminator, because I think there's a Terminator it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I think in some way there is a Terminator that shows up. Might be the same one.
Titanic is an old woman remembering that time she banged some rando on the cruise ship.
Right.
But isn't that how Sarah Connor would end up becoming?
Yeah, but the thing that is totally different. The setup is totally different with Jack and Rose. She just meets him, and then all of a sudden, she just wants to be with him. With Kyle and Sarah,
he's a time traveler.
No, with Kyle and Sarah, they went through this very intense experience together with her.
But they were going through an intense experience. It was a long trip to the United States.
Not before she had sex with him. There, nothing like that had happened. They hopped.
Did she ever have a kid? That's the question. Did she have a kid?
Rose?
I mean,
yeah.
I don't.
They slept together. So,
No,
Huh?
I don't know if she did with Jack though. I don't know if she did with Jack.
so they
Well,
didn't conceive anything.
Well,
Might not
Jack
have.
may not have. He may not have been meant to be the father. He may have been meant to keep her alive
Jack
on the
was not a time
Titanic.
traveler.
It makes so much sense. That's why he had no money. That's why he was rushing to get to the ship. You just wait. Would that make Alien also part of the timeline?
How?
Oh
James
my
Cameron worked
goodness,
on
here we go.
Alien.
How would it be part of the timeline?
So Alien happens hundreds of like couple like 100 years after Terminator. It's just like a Weyland Yutani comes out after Skynet gets shut down. They start making space travel. They find the whole thing with Prometheus. It makes sense. Alien is canon, and Titanic's canon.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
Yes, and with the
No.
multiverse stuff, maybe it's Dark Fate's timeline. If he dies as a child, Weyland and Yutani both become companies. It makes sense now. And with Terminator Zero taking place in Japan, the Yutani company could have come out of the ashes of that. When you start piecing everything together, this makes sense.
I'll say it again.
He likes to watch the world burn. He throws out
Yeah.
these comments and just to see the reaction to it.
You have to start thinking. All the pieces connect if you connect them all together.
No.
If you
No,
have
that
enough
makes,
pieces,
no, that
that's a
makes no
good
sense at
point.
all. Someone mentioned something about a Terminator 7. I have not heard, and I kind of hope not.
Reese did not drown in the freezing ocean water.
No, he did not. Poor Reese.
A broken time travel theory.
You're
checks
always
out.
time traveling. Every time I see you, you are in the future.
1898. Oh, that is true. He lives on the other side of the globe.
Yep.
Just
Yep,
like
he
Japan
does.
and the
That's
rest
what
of the
Deleted
country.
calls him.
Time traveler.
Well, yeah, he says, what is it he calls him? Our man from the future or something like that.
Yeah. This time we get it right.
Yeah,
T7. This time we get it right. Oh,
unfortunately,
I
no.
don't think they're. Look, here's the thing. I don't think they're ever going to recapture
No.
the magic of the first two.
No, it's not possible. They
Now,
can't.
Terminator Zero was a nice, a new fresh take.
If you
That
want to
was good.
tell other stories that take place within that universe,
Terminator Resistance, except it's at the viewpoint of a resistance fighter.
yeah, but that's not
During the
a
war.
movie, Arturo. That's a game.
It can be a movie if you just watch videos of it. It's actually a pretty good game. You got to scavenge for stuff too. Survival.
T-47. How long is the final gameplay?
How long is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Like once
I don't know.
you're-
I don't even know how many hours I got into it. I did tell you though, there in last night's thing before we got cut off because of the stupid internet, there was that reference, I believe it because he looked like the T-1000, that they were experimenting on his body. That was like a wink.
Yeah, the Robert Patrick.
Yeah, he looked like Robert Patrick,
Yeah.
except he was a resistance fighter, but he was already dead. He was on a chair, and they did something to his body. Have you guys been infected by deleted scenes? The stream is getting derailed by Titanic of all things.
At least not by Stormy Daniels. Yes, I said it. It's an
Stormy
inside joke.
Daniels.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Kyle Reese puberty years.
Hold
T7,
on.
make Terminator great again.
Unfortunately, that's never going to happen again.
I don't think it's ever going to happen, to be honest.
I'm. I know, Dart. That was on me. Yeah, this is what I was wanting to.
That the
read.
movies should have placed more emphasis on as they made
Terminator,
more was John's relationship with Terminator in T2, making a bigger influence Terminator had with John. Yeah, they could have done more. The chat does not let me expound what expound more?
Expound more. It doesn't let him type longer than what he typed.
Oh, really?
It does put a limit on how many characters you can type at once in the chat.
Hey Matt,
Yeah,
when was the first
exactly.
time? When was the first time you saw Terminator?
I'm not sure.
The first
I
one.
remember very clearly both
I know.
movies the first time I saw them.
I mean, I saw 3 in theaters. I know that.
Oh yeah.
The original one, I think I saw around that time. I'm not really sure. It probably was middle school.
Okay. Oh, so you kind of saw it late.
I mean, the movies are R-rated, and I was like, you know, yeah.
Oh, you saw it on HBO. Yeah. It's best seen in theaters. Watching it on the big screen a few weeks ago was a fantastic experience.
I know. You were so about it.
Well, it was really cool because there were things about the sound that
Actually, I will agree with
can't
you on
pick
that.
up
Yeah.
on when you're watching it like on a TV or on your laptop.
Yeah.
I
Matt,
didn't notice that till the theater.
Did you see T1 on the big screen, like when they brought it back to the theater?
No, I didn't have a chance.
Oh, they
It was
only
a
played
good
it one
experience.
night too.
That's
which
stupid
was a
because it's
bummer.
a 40-year anniversary. It was a 40-year. Actually, isn't it the same? Isn't Alien also 50th year too?
45th. Yeah, T1 started watching T1 just as Arnold that was T2. Wait.
That was T3.
T3 was when he crushed someone's hand, right?
And he took the
confused.
glasses.
He was so excited because watched the original. We rented the second one.
He was so excited because Terminator 1 was so big. I watched the original, we rented it. The second one, due to availability, watched it 4 times. Oh, Cyns watched it.
I know what you're talking about now, Darth Plato. Sorry, I was thinking about like the very first scene with the Terminator. I remember. I love that scene. That's one of my favorite
you mean the club?
When he walks
Oh,
into
yeah,
check
when he
noir.
walks and the guy tries to stop him.
Yeah. I love that scene. I just love how that whole scene plays out. It's just so well done. Except when you watch that as many times as I have, and you start to notice the same people ending up in different places in the bar when they shouldn't be. Like people in the crowd that end up like they're dancing on the floor, and then when it cuts to Sarah, they're sitting in the booth behind her. It's like, oh wow, yeah, I've seen it a lot. But I took off work to see T2. I remember that. Yep.
Oh, that's what Matt does when he wants to see a movie for the first time.
Takes off work?
Sometimes.
I work early on those days.
Yeah, he works early so he could go.
It's convenient because you work at the theater. You can just hop right into the room when you're done. Yeah.
So, Matt, what's your favorite Terminator movie?
Terminator 2 is good. Titanic is up
No.
there.
No.
Of course, Cyns like all-time favorite is T2 because look at the background. She has T2, T1, T2.
Well, there's T1 right here.
You have a figure
right
of
here,
T2.
Well,
yes,
I have this figure
in the back. Well, no, but there's another one in the
back. Derek gave me a cop car of, I think, Terminator 2 or the Terminator. And also this sound panel behind me.
Yeah.
That's my desktop wallpaper. And also the same artwork as this shirt. They wanted to see if they're...
I missed the T2 release.
That's a bummer. They brought Terminator 2 back in 2017 with the digital fixes and everything. And I went to go see that with the kids. Well, Artur and Aurelia, I went to go see that with them. And I loved that they had fixed up digitally some of the problems.
Yeah.
That was only the second time I'd seen that on the big screen.
Really?
Yep. I'd seen it first. Yeah, because I only went to see it once in 1991 when it came out. Just once. But I was obsessed with it from the moment I saw it.
Does it give you nostalgia?
Yeah. Kind of makes me a little sad.
Why? But just because time's flying by?
Just Because how long ago that was and how different life was, and I don't
Yeah,
know.
you know what? I've mentioned this before, but when I get sick, for some strange reason I always get a flashback of just nostalgia, a feeling of nostalgia for some reason. I
Oh,
don't
really?
know why the heck. But
When you
like
get sick?
yeah, when I get sick, and then it takes me back to a time when I was really enjoying stuff,
And you're not enjoying stuff now?
No, I mean I do, but I mean like back then it kind of just takes me back to that good fuzzy feeling
Warm
that you get.
fuzzy, yeah.
Yeah. When I was younger. And now certain things feel a bit nostalgia. Even though it's only been just a few years ago.
A lot of stuff
And
feels
yes,
like
I would agree.
nostalgia.
T1 is a
Yeah.
horror movie. T2 was more action.
Stuff from 2019 and 2017 feels very nostalgic now because that was
Yeah.
before the
Yeah.
world went to hell.
Yeah. Like even
You know?
things that came out like 2017 feels nostalgic.
Yeah. Like Wonder Woman.
But now, like even going further, like I said, when I get sick, my mind takes me back to like 07, 08, 06.
Look at Chris's hair. I don't
I
think he's
always
talking about that.
enjoy projectile vomiting.
Takes you back.
Oh no, I'm talking about like when I get a common cold or sinus issue. For some reason, it takes me.
That's funny.
I don't know. It is the strangest feeling. I've always had this issue where if I got sick with a sinus thing or a cold or something, heck, I think even with COVID, I just had this nostalgia feeling to just listen to something that like old music from.
I wouldn't consider that an issue. An issue makes it seem like that's a problem.
I wouldn't say it's a problem. It's just a weird thing that happens to me. It's like I want to listen to something that takes me back to a calmer, fuzzy time. Nostalgia. Yeah. I'm sure you've had that feeling too.
Sometimes. Sometimes, yeah.
Trying to think what else to add to Terminator. Well, do you want to jump a little bit to the anime again?
Ebola would take. I bet it would, Darth.
Ebola would take you back. All right, yeah. So here's the thing: I've seen Cyn watch Terminator 2 like 1,000 times.
Probably not that many, but a lot for sure.
I don't know about that.
I am still so bummed I missed that question on the trivia show I did with the drinker. Oh my gosh.
When it came to Terminator?
Yes, I missed a Terminator 2 question of all questions.
Yes, as much as you're a fan of Terminator.
It was kind of a trick question, though, but not really. I should have known it, and I'm still angry at myself.
By the way, who do you think is more kick-ass when it comes to these two female characters? Of course, the female lead in Terminator 0 or Sarah Connor?
Sarah Connor.
Even though she's not born in the war.
Yeah, Sarah Connor. Because how drastically she transformed and changed. This Resistance chick, she was always in that environment. Sarah Connor had this
had the build, yeah.
Yeah.
But did you kind of get the same vibe from her as Sarah Connor?
Maybe a little bit.
Measures.
No, it was different.
I mean, as far as her toughness, a little bit. I mean, she was a soldier. But I still feel like Sarah Connor is more impressive as a character.
I'm just curious who I'm curious to know who the Prophet was.
Yeah, I was thinking they were going to have a reveal about that, and they never really did.
Or you're just a drama queen that
equates a sinus problem to a near-death experience.
Your life flashes before your eyes. Yeah, I don't know. I've always had it since I was young. I was wondering if she was somewhat connected to everything going on since, time travel.
Part of me wondered if she was supposed to be Sarah Connor. But they never really explained. They don't. I wonder if this is something that will be, that will be explored if they have a season 2.
We do need a little more explanation and why that Terminator was sent on a specific reason to do this because of a specific character. I would like some answers. Didn't watch Terminator Zero. Is it true she tanked multiple punches from the Terminator in the back?
Tanked or took?
Took, I think. Yeah, actually, she got brutally beat up.
Yeah, she did. I don't remember
But she
when that
kept
fight
going.
happened. It was with the Timothy Oliphant Terminator,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When was
Yeah,
that?
the way
When did that scene happen?
It's
Near
the
the
way
end.
she can take punches. See, she
I'm
probably
like-
could roll or was double jointed or something.
Oh, double jointed like Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I'm like thinking, man, this chick, she's kind of like unstoppable in a sense because she gets hurt so bad, like she would bleed a lot from her legs. At least the one leg that got wounded, but she kept going anyway.
Oh, I see what you mean, Chris.
We're going through the depression stage. Read the room.
My goodness. And then Sashi says, but I'm not even in the room. I'm on the other side of
the planet. She took them but didn't die. Tanked. Well, that one thing that happened with her hand was pretty painful. When
I
the
forgot
Terminator
what happened.
the
I did.
Terminator,
Okay.
like,
Yeah. I've heard of tank as a gamer term.
You should have known, future boy. Tank. Okay. And Timothy. Okay. So when you first hear his voice, it's kind of funny. He sounds
like
Southern.
a Southerner.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a
set,
little like what?
Well, think about it this way. So if it's set in Japan, maybe certain Japanese have that sort of dialect that they. You know how
did
in
you
Mexico
switch it to listen to the Japanese or the original language version to see what that sounded like?
Oh,
I know. I just wondered if they made him sound that way in the
well, I'm
Japanese
just saying,
version.
like in English terms, like they are supposed to be speaking Japanese, but we're hearing it in English. Okay.
I think it's a Kansai accent. It's like Wolfwood from Trigun. So I believe it's up north for them is a lot where their farms are, and it's like called a Kansai accent. It's more of a country.
Yeah, because that's what he sounded like. Yeah.
Yeah, it probably was a Kansai accent, if I'm pronouncing or getting that correctly.
And remember this, in Death of Stalin, they made Stalin kind of have a sort of a different tone to his like speech because he's Georgian. He's not Russian.
Mm-hmm.
And they did
they
that
had a
on
whole
purpose.
bunch of different dialects in that movie.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, even though they're supposed to be speaking Russian, but we're hearing it in English, they do these things on purpose to make them have a different like tone to their dialect.
Yeah.
So that's why I was thinking when Timothy did the thing with the Terminator, since the guy's supposed to be, I guess the skin's supposed to be Japanese. He's like, I guess he's just speaking in that tone from, another part of Japan.
Maybe, as Matt was saying, which makes sense.
Would make sense. But after that, though, he just started talking regular.
Like, wait. Oh, geez. And I want your take on what to do. She wouldn't say that. She wouldn't say that. I know it's a big if, but that's a stretch of a question because she's done with Terminator.
Yeah.
So, but what would I like to produce? A continuation of the Sarah Connor Chronicles. I want to see what else was going to happen.
I'm bugging you, man. Anyways, didn't you think he did a pretty good job? Because he kind of like after that, he kind of just had that mellow, like what's that tone to his voice.
The way he sounded like his regular self afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine. He didn't have a lot of dialogue.
Yeah, well, the Terminator doesn't really have a lot of dialogue anyway. Not even in
yeah, I know, but he had
Terminator.
Like not very much at all. He had probably even less. What did you think about uh the score? I like that they incorporated some of the
The dun,
originals.
yeah,
Yeah, but I
dun.
also liked its new score that they had. It sounded, I mentioned in my review that it sounded haunting. I liked it.
Yeah, and it didn't it have a, I'm trying to remember how the score sounded. Didn't it have this sort of odd tone of like kind of like suspense with futuristic? I thought, I don't remember. It's been a,
It
I mean, I
almost
know I,
sounded cinematic or like an epic type of score is what it sounded like. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but I
yeah,
enjoyed it.
I kind of need to go back and listen to it again, but I do remember the score was pretty
I
good.
wonder if there's a soundtrack for it.
Maybe. What did you think about the robots that just started like
The city
after the
robots?
AI? Yeah, the city robots.
I mean, I
Like they
figured
didn't
that
look
was gonna
creepy at
happen.
they didn't look
So,
creepy on the outside, but in the inside,
if we're
there
gonna
you
get into spoilery stuff, is that what we're gonna be doing here? Because
well,
there
I'm
was
trying not
an
to.
oh, okay. Well, there was an issue I
Well, I don't
had
know.
with one of the with one of the robots. You know, when they were activated, they were doing things to bystanders, and then there was another bystander, and they didn't do anything to them, and that seemed like completely against what they had been doing before. And I didn't understand what changed, why they didn't take action the way they had been before.
Weren't they going after only people that started like carrying guns around and started like, because there was a
Yeah,
specific scene.
but that's what I thought too. But then there was someone else. They had been taking out people that did not have guns. So
Sashi, don't go. Don't.
see you, Sashi.
Well,
Have a
no,
good
there was
one.
that one guy that was trying to grab a gun from one of the machines, and that's when they shot him.
Yeah, but they had also shot people that didn't have any guns. This was a
Angry
confusion
mobs.
I
Maybe
If it was
angry
an angry
mobs.
mob, they may have been trying to
felt that they were
clear
a
out.
threat. I
Yeah.
don't know. I thought they were fleeing. It's been a few weeks, so
You all need to a live stream show in Shashi's
Sausage
country.
live from Sashi's house. You know,
Actually, do you
Sashi said his brother lives in Atlanta, and he's an Uber driver.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
were actually in Atlanta.
right. It would have been. Now we use Lyft, so I don't know if his brother's Uber, but it would have been hilarious to run into him, wouldn't it? Our chances are very tiny, but it still would have been funny. Oh, I didn't know that, Darth. That's interesting.
Guinea? Huh.
New Guinea. Mm-hmm.
Like apparently I heard like even in Mexico they have like different tones, kind of like in the United
There's
States.
different dialects everywhere. I'm on the right. Yeah, you were saying something about
Am
how
I
you
on
were
the
gonna
hunt to find Shashi's brother, but they don't have the
ethnicity preferences
ethnicity
for me to
for me to
find.
find him.
That would be
Stupid.
hilarious if you ever met him. That would be so funny. I mean,
Do you think
you have
Sashi?
a bigger chance. So what's
Do you
that?
think Sashi should be on this sort of thing with us because he seems to
He's
come
always
on?
popping up. He's so supportive. He's supportive
Yeah.
of most of the people that I run in the same circles with on
So I've got
YouTube.
like one viewer on Twitch.
Oh,
Just one.
that's right. You're streaming to Twitch.
Yeah.
I was going to stream to Rumble, but because you had already set up to stream to your channel on Twitch, and of course my channel, I couldn't stream to anything else. It's okay. No big deal.
What would you say was your favorite scene in Zero? The beginning, or? And I'm asking both of you guys that question.
Okay, probably one of my favorite scenes was when Judgment Day started to happen. And I was like, oh, they're really going to go there.
You mean when the nukes go up?
Yeah.
When Skynet is... Okay.
I think it was at that moment, and that was like what, episode 4? I think at that moment was when I got, not that I didn't like it before, but it was that moment that really got me hooked. Like, oh, wow, what the heck is going to happen now?
Yeah.
What about you, Matt? What was your favorite scene?
I'm not sure. I mean, I thought the future scenes with how nice the Terminator was with all the people.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
just going in there
How
and
he
saying
lectured all of
hi.
them? Yeah,
he was
so
just giving them
nice.
hugs. He was just
Yeah.
giving them hugs. He was just putting them to. He was just putting them to
Oh.
sleep.
Yeah, your scenes are all from T2. Okay.
I think my favorite scene in the show was probably the beginning.
The
in
horror
the first
scene at the beginning.
episode. Yeah, that was my favorite because the Terminator was so menacing, and then when part of his face is gone, and heck,
Yeah, he
even when
was.
he comes into the resistance area and starts shooting up the place, and he's just holding those two big sniper guns, just bam, bam, bam.
Yeah. And she was
Such
hiding
a
and then they had this long chase and they end up on that walkway area, that elevated
yeah,
walkway
that
area.
walkway. He just kept coming because he will not stop
Yeah, ever.
until you are dead. So
Well,
I
it's
gotta
his
tell you,
programming.
yeah, I think
You can't blame him for that.
No, he's just doing his job. All in the life of a machine. I gotta say though, they did get the skeleton right.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's hard to get that wrong.
Now I will
An
say CG
endoskeleton is
was
an
in here.
endoskeleton.
Yeah, there was some CG in there, a little bit. So Matt, do you think that took away a little bit or not really?
Not really.
Seems like IG Productions can like insert CG
Are you
with
talking
not
about
much.
like when he was talking to the AI? The AI
Well,
is that
just
what you mean?
well, I mean, yeah, that was CG, but there was some scenes like where the Terminator, where it showed the future of Terminators, like a bunch of them CG, or car chases. Some of that was CG.
Hmm.
However,
Okay.
they pretty much animated everything else. It's also got the same style as Psychopaths.
Okay.
The
Well,
art
it also
style.
reminded me a bit of the style in Castlevania.
Yeah,
Really?
because
It reminded me of
probably
that.
not.
That's why it surprised me to find out it was a Japanese production, not I thought it was a North American production.
But Netflix probably helped. They probably sent over money and probably a couple of animators to get
Yeah.
their stuff.
Yeah, well,
Because they're
there
doing it.
was I can't remember the name of the guy involved. I don't remember if he was a writer or did some other sort of work with the animation, but it was like a joint effort.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We're getting the new Castlevania next year.
Oh,
They got
I'm so behind on that.
it just got announced as a new anime.
Yeah,
Okay.
Alucard returns.
She added another word at the end of that enigma.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good line. Best T2 scene was when scientists went to kill science guy and didn't scientists. Oh yeah, when Sarah, right, yeah. That was an intense scene for sure. Those scenes that Enigma mentions, they're fantastic scenes as well. The mall, the hospital, and the factory scene at the end are probably my favorite scenes. Yeah.
You know what I kind of laughed at in Zero was when the prophet said the F word.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Mm.
Is
There's a
this
lot of
little
F
wrinkled
dropping.
lady throwing
Yeah.
out the F bomb? Yeah.
Like the main soldier asked, like, why is it me? Like, blah 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 blah. And then she just said something like, faith is not something or other or F. Like that was unexpected. A lot of F bombs though. Even the other character that you start to find out about literally said, "Put your F in seatbelt."
You talking about
the girl Miyazaki, I think.
the caretaker?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
on the blocking.
I am already on the blocking
like,
my chat list.
over what?
Because he didn't say that he didn't drop the F bomb.
Oh, nah, it's a family word.
Okay, so what else, Arturo? We've been at this about an hour.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Well, Genesis, I liked the concept of how they mixed like T1's timeline with a totally different
That was fun. And then they had
timeline. I
the
mean, that was kind of interesting.
they had that Asian guy from The Good, the Bad, the Weird come being like Robert Patrick's sort of.
They made Arnold look young again.
Yeah.
They like reshot some of those scenes. Let her type something to figure it out. Best T1 Kyle explode.
That's true. Yeah, exposition.
Yeah,
that's true. It was good. It was handed out in parcels, little by little, as the scene went on, and then you'd have to stop and deal with whatever. And then they had that longer portion in the garage when they got when they were in the first car, and then they went to the second one.
I think my favorite scene in Terminator 1 was probably the bar scene.
Oh, I love the bar scene. So good. Like when he's walking past her and it's slow motion and she drops her drink and then she bends down to get it and he's walking right past. It's so good the way he put that together. And I also really like the police station scene.
Oh yeah, that one was also really good. And then of course it was a wink wink in Terminator 0. Except the reason that Terminator had to go there is because that was the only way he could get guns.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'd forgotten that he did that.
He dressed up in the motorcycle police uniform, which was
another little nods. You know, in Terminator 2, when they're showing Sarah the pictures of the massacre at the police station in 1984, this blows my mind. But they basically, James Cameron was saying they had, for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason, they didn't have access to, or they couldn't replicate, or they couldn't like get pictures of scenes from that first film. Or whatever.
Because I was thinking those photos of the 84 thing look different.
Yes. So I can't remember his reason. I just remembered that there was something that happened or something that prevented them from being able to get these pictures that they were showing her. So they basically had to just recreate these scenes. So they did his hair, the way it was in the first movie and had him in the same outfit.
I could tell his face wasn't as
yeah.
It was different.
Yeah, I found that out by listening to one of the audio commentaries, which those are really fun to listen to.
Enigma said we can start asking Matthew to hold comparisons like we did last time. Matthew, which Terminator movie had the best CGI?
T2. Yes, the jump into the flood zone, it was absolutely real. Yes, it was.
So Matt, what had the best CGI?
That's hard to say because I don't think I've seen the redone version of 2. Did they work on some of the CGI with the with the sound? Fixed it up, make it look a little more modern?
So what they did, the things that I noticed that they did with Terminator 2 was this is the type of fixes that they did. There's a scene where he jumps off the wall. He jumps off that ledge in the motorcycle. And in the remastered or redone version, they digitally put Arnold's face on the stunt driver's face because you can tell it's not Arnold. Because there's just they're on his face a little bit too long and you can just tell. Another thing that they did was there's a scene where he tears off his arm at the very end. And once you've watched this movie as many times as I have, you notice in the original that his arm, it's bound up kind of like behind him to make it look like he doesn't have an arm, whatever. But it slipped out of place, and you can see it's got this stocking on it. You can see his arm hanging there. So they digitally removed that. Little things like that. Oh, another thing, when they're fleeing the hospital, there was in the original, you can see like the guy that's actually doing the stunt driving for the vehicle was in the back seat or something like that. They crafted something for him where he was sitting, and you could kind of see his head a little bit. I remember James Cameron pointing that out, and he didn't like that. But my thought was that's not a big deal because John Connor was supposed to be in the back. You could think it's John, but they removed that head. So there might have been some other stuff, but yeah, you can definitely see it in that older version. But it took me many times watching it before I noticed it. And now in the 2017 version, it's gone. Those things are gone.
Hello, Nicholas.
Hey, that's a nice bike. Yeah.
Yeah, hey, that's a nice bike. We can see it under his other
Yeah,
clothes.
you can see it under his clothes. So I was like, wow, they really kind of like in Halloween when you can still see that wrench in Nick Castle's hand when he bangs the window. That's all I see now every time. So Enigma had said one of the best camera shots was when the Terminator was on the Harley and had John sitting in front and had that shotgun pointed, and you see that tire sneak out of the fire. That was a good shot. But right after that, when he puts the gun away, there were bloopers where he kept hitting Edward Furlong in the head with that rifle. And in the final version, as he's putting it away, you can still see it kind of glance the side of his head.
Fun fact, Vasquez.
Yes, I know.
Aliens, yeah.
She's also in Titanic, and she's in Near Dark as well. Another movie with Lance.
Oh, Matt's got something to say.
What?
Wait, if they're in Titanic, that
No.
This proves my theory.
Not going there.
I am correct.
Not going there. Yeah, she's been in multiple James Cameron.
You would think though they would go back and fix T1.
I wish they would.
Maybe like a 4K edition or something.
Those scenes bother me. I watched what that guy did on those fixes he did to the practical effects.
Yeah,
of his
like
face.
why not just do that? It
looks pretty good. Yeah, he is. He's an actual biker. And he's a cool dude. I really like Robert Patrick. Yeah.
I would like to see him if he came to any con.
That would be a lot of fun if he did. He's another person I would definitely try to make an effort to talk to. Because most celebs I don't.
Because I know your whole life you never expected to say hi to Linda Hamilton.
No, I did not. I never expected her to hold my hands either and rub my face.
See, I don't get how this fangirl just came out of you. You know,
Arturo, listen.
It's like
I have liked her ever since the first Terminator. So, did you get released behind the scene? Yes, I have seen that. Yes, they did training with some sort of Israeli soldier guy or something. Yeah, I did see that. She had to learn how to mess with all these guns. So Hudson from Aliens, you're talking, is that Bill Paxton? Yeah, he was in T1.
Oh yeah.
Which means Alien is canon with Terminator.
Enigma, a lot of that stuff is available on the DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff. Sorry, Matt, go ahead.
That's how they get the androids. The androids are evolved versions of Terminators.
No.
Think about it closely. It makes sense.
You do realize that both of these IPs are not coming from the same creator.
Right, but James Cameron worked on both, so
James Cameron worked on the
second one.
Yes.
Oh, so you mean both? Yes, but he didn't create the story of the aliens.
No, but when he took it over, we could get an alien.
Androids
Terminator.
were a thing in the first Alien.
Yes, and they're evolved.
Listen to how his voice goes.
You're right. See, once you connect everything, and you go back with Titanic, it all makes sense.
Yes, that's right. He is in True Lies.
And you don't think True Lies is also connected?
Oh my goodness!
Well?
Listen, every time
that's where they got. it makes.
Sorry,
harnessing his deleted scenes voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, that also means Jingle All the Way could also be part of Terminator.
No.
Is that
Not
where they
doing
got the
that.
Terminator skin?
No, Arnold Schwarzenegger's characters are the model that after he was killed in
I can see how
Judgment
big
Day,
his eyes are getting as he talks, as he says this stuff.
it makes sense. I just need a board. I can connect all these.
You need
What
to
else?
write a
Oh,
fan fiction. Right? You need to write a fan fiction about it. That's
oh,
what you need to do.
yes, it works.
No, doesn't.
What else do you think would be in the timeline? Avatar?
Avatar could be the far future. After the alien stuff gets fixed, and because they both have cryo sleep, and this is another company on Earth trying to do more colonization. It makes sense. Yes.
Only in fan fiction.
When he makes a movie connecting all of them, I'm gonna laugh.
He's not going to do that.
No.
He's too busy playing around in Pandora.
Right, but after that,
No, oh no, he won't. He's got so many movies planned. There will no be no
Will there
after.
be nothing like new
I
or
agree,
original of his
Dark
instead
Plato.
of
I
making like
hate
a
that
sequel?
series so much. What, Arturo?
Like, won't he just make something new and original than just
This
sequel?
he consider. Well, I don't know. He considers this new and original.
I mean, it is from him, but we're getting like multiple sequels from already the first
Right,
one.
Chris.
Why can't he just make something
I
different
want
or
him to
new?
do a true life sequel. Arnold on his last mission as an older agent. Oh,
and
I'd
then they
love to
could
see
lead
that.
into
You know he could do a good job too.
then they
What?
could lead into Terminator 1 with that.
No.
Yes. Well, I'm going to get going. Okay.
Oh no, man,
Yep.
don't go.
Talk to you guys later. Bye.
See you, Matt.
Have a
Take
good
care.
one, Matt. Thanks for jumping on. However, the man is a legend for as much as he does in the ocean.
Right? Okay, I would love to see King Conan too. Oh, they've been
Did they
talking about
think
that for
about
years.
that
I don't
for
think it's ever going to happen, but I would love it.
Arnold's old.
That's the whole point. He could be King Conan, an older Conan. That was originally they had, that was the idea, to do him as an older Conan. I would love that.
And I would like
I
to hear
mean,
more. I would like to
I
hear
don't
more of the
I don't think he could do, like, let's say they wouldn't necessarily have to have him do intense fighting stuff. If he's an older king on the throne, maybe he gets dethroned by his son or whatever, something.
or maybe his son has to save the day.
I
don't
miss
know.
Arnold. I miss Arnold in really fun movies.
Yeah. He
I
is
really
getting
do.
up there though.
Oh. Yeah.
We've
Speaking
already
of
watched-
Arnold, I have to rewatch Conan the Barbarian for my next Sound Booth Theater live stream in October. Yeah, see, wouldn't that be great? That, because it kind of hit, well, maybe like his wife is working with him too, and they're both, I don't know, it just hey Corey, how you doing? Get lost. They were going to do King Conan. Yeah. They should have done King Conan. It's a shame.
We've lost a lot of talent this year.
Well,
And
yeah, we
it'll be
really
sad
have.
when Harrison Ford's gone. It'll be sad when Arnold's gone. It'll be sad when Linda's
it's
gone. It'll be
sad to
sad
see
when
these
Clint
people.
Eastwood's gone.
And
Such
it's we're closer now than ever to something like that happening. It is sad.
Mm-hmm.
Conan, well, I don't care. That's the type of Conan I want. Yeah, he was pretty funny in that film.
Conan is too toxic. What, in today's society?
His character. You never saw the second one, did you?
No.
It's fun. That one used to be my favorite, like I said, but I've
just
since
like Temple of Doom used to be your favorite.
Temple of Doom I still really like Temple of Doom.
It's
Used to be
fun.
my favorite. Yeah, it's fun. It is fun. Yeah.
Hey everyone, what's up?
Hey Drew. How you doing? I do like Harrison simply wants to work on a good movie with a good story. Yes. Yeah. Did you see that interview that Harrison and Ryan did with that I think she was a British lady, and they all three got tickled, really, really tickled about something. It was hilarious. It's so funny. Yeah, Grace Jones, yeah, she was in that one. And also Olivia Diabo. Yes, I agree. T2 is the best action movie ever made, except I would go a step further and say it's the best movie ever.
But that's just your opinion.
That's like your opinion, man. I know. Really, a lot of people are not super crazy about Temple of Doom. I like it. George Lucas worked on that at a because George Lucas was working on it with
Steven
Spielberg, and he was at a pretty dark time in his life. I think he was going through a divorce or something, and so I remember him saying that he felt like that kind of was represented in the movie. Raiders is a really good action movie. I like Last Crusade the best, though.
It's Last Crusade, Raiders, and then Temple.
Yeah, and Temple being third isn't necessarily to me. It's still a really fun film. So. With the point blank dumbness.
Well, yeah. I liked him in Fugitive.
I mean, I like Harrison Ford in most things.
Most of his movies, like he just wants to. He wasn't crazy about playing Han Solo, even though I thought he did a well of a good job on that one.
He did do a good job. Yeah.
I just does not see.
I agree, Chris. I agree. I don't like the other two very much. I actually liked the fifth one, I think, more than Crystal Skull, but I've only seen it once. If I return to it, it might be notched down a bit more. I did not like that chick who was in there, Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Oh, I did not like her character at all. She was definitely the worst part about it.
Not very good. It is good. What are you talking about?
Oh, Last Crusade is fantastic.
It's funny. So funny. Yes, he is a legend in Hollywood. He seems like the type of individual that just does not put up with shit.
He seems very cantankerous.
Like he's like, no, stop it. I don't want to put up with the drama.
He doesn't like questions about some of the stuff he's in, like some of the questions he's gotten about Falcon and what is that stupid new movie? Oh, Brave New World. Yeah, he did. He was Junior. Look what you did. I can't believe what you did.
Their chemistry was also really good.
Their chemistry was great. It's funny too, though, that he wasn't that much older than Harrison when they filmed it.
I didn't know you could fly a plane. Fly, yes. Land, no.
No.
Dad, are we hit? More or less. Son, I'm sorry.
Look,
they got us. They're shooting at us. I know,
movies.
Dad.
Fun
is the
movies.
Experience for me. Happens to me all the time. Yeah, good stuff. That's the thing. They don't make movies like that anymore. Terminator was so original. Indiana Jones was so original. Star Wars was original. Alien was original. It's like,
well, a lot of those were sequels too. Remember, Last Crusade was a sequel, but it feels like they did so many sequels decently or more decently than they do now. That might be a little unfair. There are some sequels that are pretty good.
Sean Connery shoots his
Even
own tail.
today.
They got it. No ticket. Yeah. Show my hand. Tickets, please.
Yeah, if that comes back to the big screen, I definitely want to see that.
I do want to see that. I wanted to see Temple of Doom, but I was working.
Yeah, I wish you could have come. I would have liked to see Gremlins.
Comedy as well, where Harrison is looking over the
ravine. Yeah.
He
comes up behind him and he's like
yeah, that was funny.
The comedy was done pretty well.
Marcus was pretty funny. Like,
oh my gosh, that scene.
I watched the scene where like the Nazi guy had the gun. He got the gun from Mindy's dad, but then Marcus is like, he's looking at him, and the Nazi turns and he just bangs his head with a shell, tank shell, bang, and then he knocks
Oh,
him
I
out.
forgot.
But
I
the
guess I
guy
forgot about that.
shoots the gun and hits the tank driver in the head. How does anyone get off this thing? Boom.
Yeah, one
Oh,
of
man,
the
a lot of
funniest scenes
nostalgia.
with Marcus was when they set his character up. You know, Indiana was acting like
Oh,
he
yeah.
was going to be.
How does
He's
anybody
like
here
this.
speak English?
He's acting like he's like the best spy ever. You by now he's probably got the grill already, and
No.
you see him just
How
so
does
out of
anybody here
place in
speak
this
English?
this location.
Does anybody here speaking? You know, in the first Indiana Jones, the guy from Harry Potter was in there. He was the ship captain.
Yes, I know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was cool. Because I remember looking him up after I saw him in Harry Potter. I looked him up and saw that he played in that movie, and then eventually, yeah.
Yeah. She talks in her sleep. Harrison gives a double take at him. And you get to
Yeah, of course.
enjoy-
Without being explicitly told, you know they both.
Tickets please scene was funny. Yeah. Better. I wanted to get back to like the first Terminator, but so 80s. So 80s. Like that whole bar scene. So I watched this this OVA anime. I did record a pre-review for it. I have to do like a recording, like physical review. So that anime, like, so before I saw this Terminator 1 again on the big screen, I remember after I watched the OVAs, it is so free. Well, the first one, and it came out a year after Terminator 1. But gosh, it was so dang 80s, music wise, style wise.
Wait,
so
what was this? The what?
This was this anime thing that I watched.
Oh.
And I told you about it after we left Terminator 1.
Yeah.
That it just reminded me of that. Just that, like, just the 80s vibe and totally 80s. And it's like, man, like the whole world was just totally 80s, like any culture.
Arturo, did you highlight this super chat we got?
No. What super chat?
It's been starred. I'll pop it up. Thank you. I didn't even see this. I just now noticed it was starred in our but like behind the scenes in the little comment section here. So thank you so much. Much appreciated.
I think that was on your
very
channel.
Kind. I don't know where it came from.
It's on your.
I did not even see it until just now. I have no idea when it was left because. Oh, I see. It was back. I am so sorry. I totally missed it. Oh, I feel bad. Jeez, that was rude of me. I was kind of like letting you control everything, and I completely missed that.
It's the best. T-1000 is the best action movie villain of all time, and the T-800 is the best action movie hero of all time. I think it would have been awesome if Bill Paxton had quoted his Terminator lines into Aliens. Best action movie villains was the Three Storms from Big Trouble in Little China. What I think is funny about Big Trouble in Little China is that the actors said they were making a serious movie. It turned out to be one of the best movie failures with the comedy and bad effects.
Oh my goodness, the comedy in there is some stuff was really hilarious in there. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, back to the whole thing. It's like I get the same vibe from watching that anime to watching Terminator. Just I don't know, like it's hard to explain. Just back to that time, back to that area where everything was just that style,
big
and it's
shoulders,
just stylish.
big hair.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The anime, the guy's hair is pretty big.
It reminds me of the way they draw hair in the JoJo.
Well, see, that's funny because when he wrote those books, his first one came out in '89. So technically, I think he stuck with his art style. Let's see. Big question for you guys. Out of these three villains, who would you rank them? T1000, hands
In that order, in the order you put them in, Drew. That's how I'd rank them.
Smith.
You talking about Malkovich? Yeah, he was a good villain. Malkovich is always a good villain.
He's just a good actor.
He is.
Did you hear that they've made a movie that will not come out for another century?
Wait, what? What?
Some project. It's some project of theirs that they did. They made a movie and it's not going to be released until 21 something.
Who? Well, what is this?
I don't know. I just found out that this was a project he was on and apparently will not be out until 100 years from now.
Wow, I haven't heard that. I'm curious to read more about that.
I thought it was kind of interesting, but also odd.
Oh yeah, he had to. That is odd. Oh, I see what you're talking about now, Enigma. Yeah, he could. Well, yeah. Not to mention, if you have an authorization in my state, we can walk in and out of our stores within 10 minutes and take what you want, paying obviously.
Well, you mean the Terminator? Well, the Terminator
in the first one, when
he just shot the guy.
I know, but he's referring to what the guy said to him about, the shotgun you can take right now, the handguns you have to. There was basically like a waiting period. He had to get authorized or something.
Oh, well, that was a different time, I guess.
Yeah, in the gun shop. Pumping Iron, yes, I've seen Pumping Iron. Yeah, it's documentary, but it's kind of. It's a little fictionalized, some of the stuff that goes on in there for dramatic purposes. But yes, it is good. Have you ever seen that, Arturo?
No.
Did you ever see Pumping Iron?
I wanted to see the one with Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, the documentary. Yes, that's right.
About the two. Yeah, because
did you ever watch the Arnold documentary on Netflix?
No.
It was really good. Dee and I watched it. We sat down and we watched, we had a watch party. We watched all 3 episodes. It was like a 3-hour and something viewing. It was really good.
No. I wanted to say something else about Terminator. Now I completely forgot. Do you have any comments?
I can't think of anything else. I was looking at the time. It's 10. I do still have some work, so
I remember now.
Wrap up soon. Okay.
I remember. Would you say Terminator is the best time travel series or movie of all time?
Well, it has time travel in it, but they don't really delve into the time travel stuff. Like, I'll compare it to, let's say, Time Cop, or let's say Harry Potter and The Prisoner of Azkaban, when they do time travel stuff and you see what they have to fix, specifically what they have to fix. So probably not. Yeah, I mean, Darth, I kind of agree. It's time travel-ish, when they do get around to the whole circular loop of it all. But I don't think of it as a time travel movie first and foremost. So I think
she was funny in real life too.
Say what, Arturo? Oh yeah, she's funny. Yeah, I knew she was in Chuck. I just haven't seen it yet. She's actually pretty. She was funny in the panel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Back to the Future and Star Trek, time after time.
Yeah,
but then again, it's still time travel though.
Say what?
Terminator is still time travel because they're sending something back from the future.
Yeah, but you're not taking the journey with them from the future and journeying to the past.
You see flashback.
Yeah, but no, not
Well,
really.
flash forwards, if you
Not
want to think
really.
about it.
It's not the same. It's not like, let's say, a Back to the Future, like has already been brought. And Back to the Future isn't even one of my favorite movies at all, but that's a better time travel story
Mm.
than the Terminator. Mom, what did I say about webs? I know I should watch that. I've heard it's a good show. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, then she's also going to be in Stranger Things.
Yep.
So I'm wondering what role. Like that's funny. They got Robert Englund, and now they got Linda Hamilton.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So I guess to conclude, Terminator, it's a great series. There's certain ones. Personally,
Two of
I
the
would.
movies are great.
Yeah, but there's other medias that well, Terminator Resistance, like I've said. Terminator
Sarah
Zero is a
Connor
new
Chronicles.
yeah, Terminator Zero is a new fresh start to something different with Terminator, so that's good. Yes, everybody has an opinion on if they want to insert other like movies in there. That's completely fine. I personally will not insert Dark Fate, but that's just me. Because I heard
There's no question for me on that one. Sarah.
I just heard it.
I prefer Sarah more than Trinity. I even prefer her more than Ripley. I do like Ripley, but Sarah Connor, she's
Trinity.
like
Trinity.
she's my number one.
Well, Ripley's pretty good, especially in the first one and second one.
Yeah, but Sarah Connor, she's still my favorite of the two. Yeah.
They need to do a crossover.
That's true. I agree, Enigma. Don't say that. You give Matt ammunition to try to tie the two movies together.
Yeah. Well, like I've said, Terminator 1 and 2, Resistance, and then Terminator 0. And I guess whatever else if I decide I want to or not, but
well, you should watch Dark Fate if you want to try to decide. If you want to decide, I mean, if you trust my take on it. It
seemed to me, though, that from what I've heard, from what you said, it just was just that. They kill off John. They put a Latina girl as the new savior.
Yeah, it was basically.
Well, then what was the point in Terminator 1 and 2?
Yeah,
that's I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't.
It was a frustrating experience.
It's the same with the last Jedi and Skywalker, the Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, I know how it goes.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not gonna waste
Dark Fate,
I'm not gonna waste my time.
Yeah.
It's the same with same with Dark Fate.
Such a waste because you had Arnold and Linda back together again, and they just completely threw it down the toilet. Terrible, terrible wasted opportunity. Yeah.
Like Salvation, maybe, but that's kind of up in the air. And Genesis is just its own thing. But yeah, those are like the 4 I would like count like as my favorites right now. Terminator, like media wise for Terminator, whatever.
Until you watch the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Then I might insert that in there too. I haven't seen it yet.
I would not mind rewatching it, to be honest. If you want to watch it, I'll
like it enough,
I'll rewatch it with you.
Yeah, if I like it enough, then yeah, I'll also insert that in. But yeah, you could follow me on my channel. I am going to try to put out some Terminator reviews. And you could follow Cyn where she laughs, she cries, a little bit of both. But most importantly, she fangirls like a Swiftie fan.
No, I do not. Do not compare me to Swiftie fans.
Guys, I'm telling you, she like went back to like age 15, 16. All right, this is my mom now.
Sorry, I'm busy reading comments.
Yeah, what I would like to see when they get those big movie stars reunited, the producers don't do massive callbacks, but rather just let the movie roll and give small indications.
Yeah, indications. Yeah.
Yeah, see, that was a big bummer with
He's got
Star
something
Wars.
else that's coming. Yeah, I know. The internet didn't crash, but you know what? Before the stream happened, our power flickered out and the internet died, and then it
It's kind of
rebooted.
windy
But
outside. Like
yeah,
we're
we've been
not getting
having
rain right now,
rain.
but we're having another group of rain just coming in a bit. And right now we're kind of in an open area of wind.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I agree
rain.
completely, Enigma. Yeah. Sometimes they try way too hard. It's like, oh, look what we did there. Ha ha ha. No. It's why Romulus was just a fail for me.
Well, see, a lot of people were disappointed with the sequel trilogy of Star Wars because they wanted to see Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher back together, but they didn't do that.
Well, not in the way people
Killed them off.
Yeah.
They killed Harrison Ford's character off. And then
Yeah, Event Horizon. I could see that having a good sequel, yeah.
I have never seen that.
It's decent.
You know
It's a
what I
horror
would like
movie.
you know what I would like to see a sequel to if they could just maybe redo it in a certain way? Big O.
Oh, I
Like
never finished that second season.
the first season, like my gosh,
It was really good. I know. I
Like the
liked it a
style,
lot.
I liked that style. I liked that noirish feel. It just kind of a lot of people really like that. And then when the digital, like when digital came around in season 2, just didn't look as good. Oh, you sure about that?
Yep. I can't find the private chat in here
Just
for some reason. It's
have
not showing up,
one
but
because the original was epic for its time. All right, well, Sin wants to skedaddle now.
I have work
So
I got to do.
unfortunately, we have to go.
And I have to be up at a certain time tomorrow.
Oh, I didn't realize you had to get up early.
Yeah, I've got to make sure we've got a release coming out tomorrow, and I want to make sure it works okay before the release time of 10. I got to, check it on the app and everything.
All right. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this podcast episode. And maybe I'll edit this a bit and just insert faces
Certain
of Sin,
moments.
of Sin. Well, yeah, or just you fangirling.
I didn't do much fangirling. I'm
No,
sorry,
like
Enigma. That's terrible.
Like rotoscoping when you freak out.
Thanks for joining, Enigma. Glad you could hang with us for as long as you did. Go get some sleep.
Yeah, get some sleep. Good for your body. All right. Hasta luego.
Later, guys. Thank you so much.
Hasta la vista.
Oh, I didn't know Polly was live. If I have time, I'll try to hang. Good night, everyone.
Good night.